After Arsenal's 1-1 draw with Brentford yesterday, Liverpool now need just 9 points from their remaining 7 fixtures to claim the title. West Ham stand in their way today. The Hammers, who are winless in their last 4, are the visitors this afternoon. And today's fixture is of course the first since Friday's big news that Mo Salah is extending his stay at Anfield beyond this summer. Can he fire the team to Premier League glory in the coming weeks? Arne Slot faces Graham Potter for the first time. We get underway here at 2 o'clock and we'll have live audio commentary of all the action. Welcome along to Anfield and to another huge Matchday Live. Former Reds Ray Houghton and David Thompson are with me. Their thoughts on the title race and recent contract developments to come. But first, the team news for today. We'll bring Liverpool's lineup just now. West Ham's to come a little bit later in the show. But the Reds make 4 changes from the team that lined up at Fulham last time out. Alisson returns in goal after concussion issues suffered whilst away on international duty. Conor Bradley comes in to play at right back. His last start was the game at Goodison. It'll be Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk at centre-half. And there's a change at left-back as well as Kostas Tsimikas replaces Andy Robertson. In midfield, Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister will probably be the 2 sitters. You'll have Mohamed Salah, fresh from signing that new deal, on one side, Luis Diaz on the other, in the place of Cody Gakpo, who drops to the bench, and Curtis Jones operating more centrally. Through the middle once again, it is Diogo Jota. On the bench, Jaros, Kelleher, Endo, Szoboszlai, Chiesa, Gakpo, Elliott, Robertson and Kwanzaa. Yeah, we'll get to that team and this match a little bit later in the programme. There's only one place we can start today, gentlemen, and Ray, that is with the news that Mohamed Salah has committed his future to the football club. How important a bit of business is that to get done, but also to get it done now when there's still games to be played, not have it hanging over this run-in?
Yeah, I think it's been going on for quite a while now, isn't it? Same with Trent, same with Virgil. I think it's great news for the Liverpool supporters around the world, not just here at Anfield today, but everyone who's been waiting with bated breath to find out exactly what's going to happen with the lads. And on Friday we heard the great news that Mo's going to stay, which is brilliant. You know, he's been sensational this season in front of goal. You look at the goals that he scored, his assists in the goals as well for Liverpool, been absolutely brilliant. And I'd like to see him today, you know, go out there and really play in the manner that he's been playing for the majority of the season, with a smile on his face, and go and show this Liverpool public that he's happy to stay for the next number of years and showcase the talent that he's got. Great news for us. Yeah,
you know he's going to get an incredible reception when he steps back out here for the warm-up, Tom. Well, he always does, but today there'll be that extra oomph to it. It seems to be such a happy marriage, if you want to call it that. The supporters love him, and he loves the football club and everything that it has done for him.
Yeah, and I think the way he's handled the situation's been absolutely class. We've never heard him linked with other clubs other than the move to Saudi Arabia. But, you know, he's quietly gone about his business. He's had his best ever season for Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, I just think he's utter class. You know, this season, the goals and assist record is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. At 32, I know Liverpool's got a policy about its older players. You can understand why they've gone out the way to keep Mohamed Salah. Not only is he an attraction for other players to want to come and sign for Liverpool Football Club, but he brings out the best of everyone around him, all his teammates. You know, he sets the benchmark of what elite level football is like.
And I suppose if you're a football club and you've got players approaching the end of their contracts, you're looking for them to put their hand up and say, this is why you should keep me as part of what you're doing. And you can't argue against the numbers he's delivered this season. You know, phenomenal return again by him. So he's done his part of it to earn the right to stay here.
Well, listen, if he had a poor season, you know, it'd been an easy decision to move him on. But because he's done so well, and he is an elite athlete, you know, he's a lad that, you know, any youngster coming through who wants to be a professional footballer, I would say mimic what he does. What he does off the field, how he keeps himself in the best shape that he can, because he's been absolutely superb. You know, the way he lives his life is to be an elite footballer. He's been absolutely superb. We look at the goals that he scored. You know, he's been in great form. not only this season he's scored plenty, as we've said, but it's how many he's assisted as well. He's created goals for others, and there's been a joy to his game. He looks like he's really enjoyed this season, and now he's got to cap it off by winning the Premier League. That's hugely important.
I saw a stat this week actually about Mohamed Salah. He's got 44 goal involvements this season, and there's only been 2 players in the history of the Premier League who's ever surpassed that. It was Andy Cole, 93-94.
Which was a 40-plus game season.
Yeah, it was a 42 game season, wasn't it? So, and Alan Shearer. They were both 22 and 24 at the time, so, you know, spring chickens. Mohamed Salah's 32. Nobody's ever been close. I think Drogba was the last one in 09-010. 38 goal involvements. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's an absolute phenomenal elite athlete, and that's why we're keeping him.
We're seeing a sort of compilation here of some of his greatest moments. This perhaps one of the biggest of them all. He's won everything with Liverpool so far, but he's spoken after signing this deal about the desire to win more. How pleased are you to see that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, that energy and that desire, I guess, that appetite within a player who's done it all?
Well, that's what separates, like good from being excellent, and that's what he's been. He's been an excellent professional. You just have to look at the shape that he's in. He's absolutely phenomenal. And you get certain players like Cristiano Ronaldo, look at him at the age that he is and how well he's kept himself in shape, because he wants to play and he wants to set the benchmark so high for others that come through at various clubs that he's been at, and I don't think Mo's any different. Just have to look at the number of goals he scored for Liverpool since he's been here. Is that 5 seasons that he scored 30 plus goals at the club? Just shows you his dedication, his desire. He wants to be the best that he can. He wants to, set standards for others to come to this football club to be as good as what he's been. That's the sort of player I want in my football club, because I want people that excel. I want the youngsters to come through to look at him and say, well, if he can do that, and he comes in early for training and he works as hard as anyone else at his age as well, because he wants to keep on improving, I've got to do that to get to that level, if not more. So he's setting the benchmark for a lot of the Liverpool players.
The numbers that Salah's been hitting consistently now for the last 7 years, one thing we forget is he's not a centre-forward, he's a winger. And he's renowned for being a selfish winger. Yeah, he's got the most assists in Europe this year, which is 17. And the next closest to him is Yamal for Barcelona, who's got 11. So that just tells you what you're dealing with here.
I was going to say, we've seen some of his goals there. You've both spoken about his goals, but also mentioned his assists within that. For me, the big evolution within his game this year is I think he's looked at what his capabilities are now, realised I need to adapt and tweak what I do, and there's been a conscious shift by him to work on creating more. And I think that stood out for me, and that's to be applauded this season.
Oh, it's definitely to be applauded. You can see the way he's adapted his game. He actually conserves energy now, and he creates space and chances for other players, and that's how smart he is. That's what elite players do. They bring out the best in those around them,
Yeah, that said, though, his currency up until this point has largely been goals. We look at where he sits in Liverpool's all-time leading scorers. There's half a sniff now of him climbing another place higher in the time left at the club. He could maybe surpass the great Roger Hunt.
Oh yeah, look, listen, with the time that he's got left at the club now, the fact that he's going to sign his new contract, he's got every chance of doing it. We're just basing it on the number of goals that he scored so far. 243 goals that he scored for the club is absolutely phenomenal. He's still got a way to catch Rushy at the top.
But he might have his eye on the goal number 300, though.
Yeah. Look, listen, why wouldn't you? If you're someone who's of the class of Mo Salah and what he's done for the club, of course you'd be looking. I'm sure he sets himself targets. Number of games he wants to play in a season, number of goals he'd like to score. His assists this season is brilliant. But something that we don't talk too much about, what I think he's done better than he has done previously, and that is chasing back and helping out defensively. He's someone maybe a season or two ago sat up front quite a lot, and he was given that licence to do that because he didn't have to come back to help out defensively as often. This season I've seen a different type of mentality from him, getting back, helping out whoever the fullback is.
He's had to do it, hasn't he?
Absolutely. But one thing, there's a great saying, if you want someone on your team when you're 0-0, when you've got one chance to score, I want him. Of all the Liverpool players that are there, I want him to make sure he's on the pitch at that particular moment, because if it's going to fall with anyone, I want it to fall for him, because he's the one I would put my money on more than anyone else to get you the goal, and that's his influence in this Liverpool side.
Third in Liverpool's all-time scoring list, joint fifth in the all-time Premier League scorers charts. But again, he will see a few names on this list that he'll think he can now overtake in what time he's got left at this football club, Tom.
He could catch Andy Cole today. I wouldn't put it past him. He could catch Andy Cole today.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't know with Harry Kane if he's going to come back to the Premier League. He might add to that if he does. But certainly, when you look at who's just ahead of him in Aguero and Andy Cole, well, he's level with Aguero at the moment, 184. So, yeah, I think it'll be in his mind to get as many goals. Look, listen, he'll just keep playing the way he's been playing, and when chances are there, he'll try and take them to the best of his ability, and wherever he ends up, he ends up. But I just love his mentality, I love his fitness, I love his desire. He wants to prove himself every day and get better and better and better, and that's the best way to be as a professional footballer.
And just in terms of having him at the football club, to return this back full circle before we hear from the man himself, the value in having him on that squad list, to entice people, to also set the standards, to show where Liverpool have been and aim to be moving forward again.
Well, he does set the benchmark and what players need to be for elite players, and you know that he's brought out the best in the likes of Trent and the likes of Curtis Jones. You've seen that improvement. Curtis Jones has been in the gym as well. You know, that's the level he's at. He does bring out the best in everybody around him. But in terms of this summer transfer window, knowing that we've got him, the next target is to keep Virgil van Dijk. If Liverpool Football Club start demonstrating that they can keep the superstars, in the past, you know, the likes of Suarez, your Coutinho's, your Torres, they've always left to go, you know, different places. Suarez was going to leave to Arsenal. He thought Arsenal was a better proposition. The fact that we're now keeping these players and we can pay them the high wages, it's only going to be attraction for other superstars to come and join this revolution. This march towards, like, you know, not just winning leagues, but winning Champions Leagues and maintaining that.
I think it'll be big for Liverpool in the summer. I think they're going to go. I don't know. I'm only guessing, but I think the manager will be backed with really good money to go out and strengthen the team, and I think you're going to see an even better Liverpool next season. Yeah,
you do get a sense that the Premier League will be very active this transfer. There'll be a lot of business done by all the big teams. The good thing is that Liverpool guaranteed Champions League football yesterday. Just thought I'd throw that in there, if ever it was in doubt. OK, and let's pause things just pitch side and now hear from the man himself. This is what Mohamed Salah had to say about penning that new deal with this great football club.
Well, Mohamed, congratulations. How does it feel to agree this new deal with the club?
Thank you. It's great to be here another 2 years, so yeah, happy to sign a new contract.
As you say, it extends your time with the club. These last 8 years have been something really special, and there's now more to come. How excited does that make you?
Yes, of course, I'm very excited. We have a great team now. And before also we have a great team, but I'm excited because I think we have a chance to win another trophies and enjoy my football.
Can you explain what Liverpool means to you, what you feel about Liverpool as a club?
Great, I had my best years here. I played 8 years, hopefully gonna be 10. Enjoying my life here, enjoying my football. Yeah, I have the best years in my career.
When you signed your last contract in 2022, you were 9th on the club's all-time leading goal scorer list. You're now 3rd as we sit here today. How proud are you of that achievement?
It's so great, but I'm more proud when we win the team trophies, because this is the most important thing. When you win something with the team and scoring goals and you are involved, that's what people remember. But you just individual alone without winning anything, it's just like doesn't feel great.
We are obviously top of the Premier League table. Just how much would it mean to you to go on and win that?
I think I said in the beginning of the season, I just wanted to win the Premier League more than anything else. I wanted so bad, to be fair. The fans deserve it. The last time we won it, we didn't celebrate it that much. Hopefully we do it this time. It's still 7 games to go. It's not going to be easy at all because Arsenal also catching up. So we give it all, and hopefully in the end we can win it.
Why is it the Premier League, the one that you want the most?
I don't know, probably because last time we didn't celebrate it the way we wanted, and I think we owe that to the fans. They deserve it. They deserve to enjoy it after that long time with to celebrate in Anfield and in the street and just enjoy ourselves with winning the Premier League.
But I think it's fair to say everybody in this building knows there's so much hard work before we can even make that a reality.
Oh, of course, it's very hard. Like, because Arsenal, as you see, they are playing very good football, and the Premier League is very tricky. It's the hardest league in the world, and the weirdest league in the world as well. Like now we see Forest third, and City is fifth or sixth now. So it's very tricky. But I think we have to just stay humble and do our job properly, and just be ready to suffer, because that's what we'll take to win the Premier League.
And just thinking about beyond this season, you must feel as though this team can challenge for the big honours again next season.
Yeah, of course. I think if I don't believe that, I would have not signed. I believe the team can win trophies, and with the support of the fans and the city and the support they always give us in the games, that I believe we can win many trophies in the next years.
We know the Liverpool supporters adore you. We know they'll be delighted by this news. What would you like to say to them?
I would like to say to them, I'm very, very happy to be here. I signed here because I believe we can win a lot of big trophy together. So keep supporting us, and we will give it our best, and hopefully in the future we're going to win a mini trophy.
Are you looking forward to seeing them again on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess finally, we can finally say now that you're more in than out.
Yes, now I'm more in than out.
More in than out, and looking like he will get that trophy he dreamed of at the start of the season. The Premier League title is within grasp. To illustrate that point, let's just remind you of how things sit at the top of the standings. After Arsenal dropped more points yesterday, they were held 1-1 at home to Brentford, meaning the Reds are just 3 wins, yes, 3 wins from a 20th championship. Yeah, we knew that there would be moments along this running where both teams probably would slip up. We did it last weekend, Ray. How much do we look into that game at Fulham, or do you just sort of separate out and say, look, it's a one-off, it's a blip, and also it was a team against us who played very well, especially in that first half?
But do you just look at the games that you've lost and then you think, oh, we'll forget about the games that we won? I don't think you can look at football that way. Yes, you were evaluated the way that the game went against Fulham, what you done well, what you didn't do as well, and then you're trying to make it better in the game against West Ham. West Ham record is pretty poor. I think it was the last win in the league 2015, 10 years ago, thereabouts. So they're not coming here with a lot of confidence. Liverpool have to start games like they have done for the majority of the season on the front foot, take it to them, and eradicate some of the mistakes in the Fulham game, self-inflicted. Try to play out from the back when it wasn't on to do it. Defensively, I think the last few weeks we haven't. And when I say defensively, I'm not just talking about the back four, I'm talking about the whole team. We've not been defending as a group as well as we have done for the majority of the season. Get back to that, minimise the mistakes. You're always going to score goals, you're always going to create chances. And if they do that, it sounds easy, Mark, when you say you only need 3 wins. Only 3 wins. That's if Arsenal win every game. So, I don't think they're going to do that personally. So you might need less than that. You've got to get over the line now. It's not always about playing your best and lovely football, everyone coming in and going, wasn't that a great game? It is, how did we win today? It's a winning mentality I want to see today. Not about great football, how do we win? And even when we win ugly, it's 3 points closer to what the end goal is which is winning the Premier League.
I think the fact Liverpool lost that game sort of fed into a narrative that their form had dropped off of late. And I think that was added to by the fact of we lost the League Cup final and there was the Champions League exit. But if you actually look at the Premier League form in recent weeks, well, actually, it's not been as shabby as some would make out it to have been. Liverpool still leading the way across the last 10 games played, and by a bit of a distance as well. So that just illustrates the point that Liverpool's form has not crashed off a cliff. Yes, it's wobbled ever so slightly, but they're still the best team in the country. What was interesting, Tom, we did that game last weekend. We spoke about how well they'd started and then it sort of dipped away. What we need to see today is that start replicated and continued, because they were excellent for the very beginning of the game.
Yeah. Well, the first 20 minutes, but just to touch on what Ray's just finished up on there, is a winning mentality. We saw that for the first 20 minutes. We saw the tempo, we saw the crisp passing, we got the goal, but then after that we capitulated. And Ray's talking about, it was self-inflicted, the errors. I think they were forced mistakes, so you had to give Fulham a little bit of credit last week. They knew where we were weak, they knew which players they wanted to have the ball, and they forced us into mistakes. Also, they won the first balls, they won the second balls, and they outran us. If we want to win the league, today is where we start to put that right. First balls, second balls, we start getting after them, especially here. West Ham's record's abysmal here.
What I was saying about last week, where I say it was self-inflicted, when you're playing well and you're on top, as Liverpool were against Fulham, and then you start making silly mistakes when Ibu's, gets caught out when he should be passing it quicker.
It's a Maradona turn in the box.
What I mean by that, though, is when you make a mistake like that, it affects the others, and everyone starts going, and then they start making silly mistakes. If you don't do that, it doesn't happen. And that's what I was talking about, keeping your concentration, keeping your professionalism, making sure you do everything right. You're on your game, you've got 1-0 up, you don't allow the opposition back into it. Liverpool allowed them back in there. Yeah, credit to Fulham, they put a bit of pressure on Liverpool, but Liverpool, by making the mistakes that they did, encouraged Fulham. Fulham all of a sudden went, we could be back in this, because they're not quite at it at the moment. They're giving the ball away too easy. People making the wrong decisions, turning into people. These are the things that they haven't been doing for the majority of the season. Get back to what you were doing your best at, which is popping the ball off quickly. The opposition, when you're laying the ball off quickly, you can't close down because the ball's already gone. You're going there and it's already gone to the next person. And then it goes to the next and the next, because you're moving the ball sharply across the whole pitch. And when Liverpool do that, they're virtually unplayable. And then they get the ball forward quickly, and with the pace where they've got on the side, they'll create chances to score goals. Don't give encouragement to the opposition to come back into it. If you're on top, keep driving on. Keep driving on.
We do have to be careful here today, because West Ham are in a little bit of a transition period. They're experimenting a little bit. Last week and the week before was a bit of a dog's dinner, and you couldn't have predicted their lineups over the last week or two. Even the fans couldn't predict it. So they're experimenting, and it's dangerous. The shackles are off. They're playing for the futures here today. They can be dangerous, even though their record's abysmal here, and I don't particularly think they're a good side. They're really missing Mikel Antonio. We do have to be on our mettle today and make sure we start well.
Yeah, West Ham's record here is poor. Liverpool's record this season at Anfield is pretty good too, just to make it more difficult for the Hammers visiting Merseyside today. Just the one defeat away from home after that loss at Fulham, just the one defeat here as well. That augurs well for what the Reds still need to do, and that is pick up 9 more points, of course, because that is the tally they need to reach if they are to secure that league title. Does it get more difficult as you get closer towards the finish line? Right? You've been there, you've done it.
Yeah, it does, because all you're thinking about is, you're not worried about what you've done previously and what got you into this fantastic position. All you're thinking about is, most fans will be going, or even punters will be going, well, you should be beating them, because if we look where you are in the league compared to them, you should be much better than them. Football doesn't work that way. We were just saying about West Ham, they're coming there. Listen, they're not going to get relegated, so there could be a freedom about their game to go out and express themselves and maybe take the game to Liverpool. I'm not sure that will be the case, because I think Liverpool have been that good and that consistent. But it's on Liverpool to go out there and win the game. They've got to show why they've been the best team in the league this season, and forget about what's happened against Fulham. It's irrelevant now. You can't do anything about it. That's in the past. It's the here and the now. What can we do today to get the 3 points to get us even closer to what we want most of all, which is that 20th league title?
No disrespect to Curtis Jones, but having Conor Bradley back in, a natural right back in the side, does that help today, Tomo?
I thought Curtis did all right, actually, but he had the mistake. It wasn't even a mistake, was it? It was just an unlucky deflection last week, but he acquitted himself really well. But when Conor Bradley came on, I thought he was electric. He looked sharp. He looked like he wanted to drive forward. Yeah, the shackles were off a little bit because we were chasing the goal, but it's lovely to see him back. He's a real driving force, and he's got influence when he gets up in that final third. He can really affect the play. So looking forward to seeing him play today.
It's a different type, when you play with Curtis. Curtis is a midfielder playing it right back. Curtis is far happier, a little bit higher up the pitch. And Tom will know, when we played in midfield, it's a different position. You've got to get your body set in different areas and different positions, because you're receiving it normally from the fullback. But you're the one that's playing it in from the full-back position. It's definitely different. And I take nothing away from Curtis and what he tried to do. But when you've got a natural right back, and you'll see the link-up play with Mo, I think it's going to be a lot more positive. You're going to see a different dynamic from Liverpool on that side of the field. I thought it was missing a little bit, you know, because when Trent plays there, that interaction with Mo runs in behind, ball over the top. Curtis isn't that type, he wasn't seeing that. I think Connor can see that, and he'll work in tandem with Mo much better. And I think putting Curtis in his more familiar central midfield position where he'll be far happier. Play players in the best position. I know it was a must because of the injuries that Liverpool had, but I think once you've got your full-back back fit and healthy, get him into that position, get your midfielder in the right position, and you'll see Liverpool play far better.
Do you know what's difficult though? You know, especially at this level, right? The elite level. It's difficult to sort of get on top of your game and learn your craft, and you're obsessed with learning your position, and then all of a sudden the manager just 1 week says to you, can you go and do this job? It's like completely, you know, it's completely alien to him. But I thought he acquitted himself fantastic, Curtis, to be fair.
Yeah, that is the thing people sometimes underestimate, that having to learn a different job under the most extreme of circumstances.
At the highest level, you don't get a chance, you know, to learn it in the reserves, the 21s, 23. It's just go and do it at the highest level, and you're up against elite athletes. Iwobi's the top of his game. He's at the peak of his form at the time.
Yeah, it certainly is. OK, well, this Tuesday marks 36 years since the Hillsborough disaster. 97 Liverpool supporters lost their lives as a result of events that occurred at the FA Cup semi-final against Nottingham Forest on the 15th of April, 1989. The anniversary date is a significant and poignant one in the club's history, and one which brings us together to remember the 97 who lost their lives and to share love and support for their families, the survivors, and all those impacted by the tragedy. Before kick-off this afternoon, a period of silence will be observed and a mosaic will be displayed on the Kop. Players will also wear black armbands as a mark of respect. Well, it is West Ham who visit Anfield today, but Arne Slot's press conference on Friday morning was understandably dominated by the Mo Salah contract news. The boss was understandably delighted.
He's shown at this club for so many years in a row now how much of value he has for the team, for the club. So I assume all our fans and his teammates, we're very happy that he extended for 2 more years. And hopefully, he can show Sunday again how important he has been for the whole season to us.
Is there relief as well?
I think for the fans it is. I don't think it's a surprise to you that I knew a bit better how his contract situation went over the course of the whole season. So maybe for the fans it was a pleasant surprise. I knew it a bit longer, of course, that things were heading in the right direction. And I think it's also a big compliment for Richard that he achieved to extend Mo Salah, who is such a great player, as a free agent, can go probably to every club in the world wherever he wants to. But he stayed at our club, and that's also a compliment for Richard, I think.
What is it that makes him so special, and why is it that obviously fans and the club and everyone connected here are so pleased today that this player is staying with you?
First of all, he's always been judged as a player. He's always judged as a player, which is of course what you guys should do. But I also see him as a human being, and he's a humble person. Always wants to work hard. Always puts a lot of effort in to become the player he has become, and he wants to stay at that level. So he just keeps on bringing that effort every single day. And what makes him special on the pitch is, in my opinion, that he can score goals. Now, there are more players who can score goals, but Mo can also score a goal if he's not in the best half hour or the best 15 minutes. And that's why he's mentally so strong as well. And you need to be that if you want to be 7 or 8 years at the highest level every 3 or 4 days. Apart from quality, from physique, you need to be mentally really strong as well. And I think that's, apart from all the other things, how mentally strong he is probably what stands out for me.
What more can Mo Salah bring to Liverpool? His record since the day he signed has been incredible. His numbers are fantastic.
we're always trying to achieve a bit more as a team and as individuals. But if you are playing at Liverpool, probably you're also close to coming to the maximum of your ability. So there's not a lot of room for improvement for Mo or for all the other players anymore. But you're just trying to reach perfection. And I saw Deschambault saying this. That's the Masters Golf, where we just spoke about before the press conference started. I saw a phrase of him, and it was from Lombardi, I think, who said, "We are trying to reach perfection, which we will never reach, but we reach excellence on the way." And I think that's what we are trying here as well. So we're trying to bring the best and the maximum out of the players to find this 1 or 2% extra. But it's clear that Mo is coming close to the end not to the end of his career, but to the end of his ability. I think we've brought almost the maximum out of his qualities this season. And then it's about consistency, which is one of the most difficult things in football. And that's why he's been seen as such a star player, because to play once or twice the way Mo does, I'm not saying everyone can, but most players can. But to do this on such a consistency level, that's what makes it so hard. And then I come back to the mentality part again.
Time now to nip up to the main stand gantry and to join up with Steve Hunter, who's commentated on all 243 of Mo Salah's Liverpool goals so far. And we're hoping to talk you through another 1 or 2 this afternoon. Afternoon, Steve.
Now that is a lot of throat lozenges, Mark, my friend. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Anfield warming up nicely in the sunshine for this one. We've got a terrific record against the Hammers, by the way. And talking to Mo Salah, he scored a penalty in this corresponding fixture last season when we beat them 3-1. Our last 2 games against West Ham, we've scored 10 goals and conceded just 1. Of course, back in September, it was the Carabao Cup tie, wasn't it? And Diogo Jota, who scored in the league game last season, also scored against the Hammers when we got 5 just before Christmas at the London Stadium. He's got a beauty here from a Curtis Jones pass, wasn't it? It was a great night that, when Cody Gakpo as well got a couple of late goals. Julian Lopetegui was in charge of West Ham that day. That didn't work out when he came in to replace David Moyes, and Graham Potter, fresh from the spells at Brighton and then an indifferent spell at Chelsea, of course, coming in to take the reins. A former Hammer is alongside us in the commentary box today, more renowned for those goals against Arsenal and Olympiacos in the Champions League. Of course, Neil Mellor had a lone spell when Gerard Houllier wanted him to go to West Ham to have some experience of playing in the top flight on that particular day. But hopefully Jota, got the winner when we last played at home, didn't he, against Everton in the derby. By his own accounts, he said he's still trying to play catch-up after the bad injuries he's had. It was a bad injury when he cracked his ribs against Chelsea, and it disrupted him, really. But we know when he's on his game, he can be a real threat and a match winner, as indeed in the derby. But I tell you what, the reception that Mohamed Salah is going to get today is going to be unbelievable when Pete reads his name out before the game, and you wouldn't be surprised whether he puts 1 or 2 in the back of the onion bag again for Liverpool here today. So hopefully a good day for the Reds here. Big opportunity to go 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League, which would be very nice indeed, wouldn't it? Mark, it's all yours.
Thank you, Steve. It is time now for us to say goodbye to those of you watching us on social media. If you want to carry on enjoying our build-up on LFC TV, you can find the details of how to become a subscriber online. They're at liverpoolfc.com/watch. OK, still to come before kick-off, we'll hear from Alexis McAllister on his goals so far for the club and playing under the Hammers boss Graham Potter. As mentioned, Steve will be alongside former Hammer Neil Mellor for commentary at 2. And then after full-time, Ray, Tomo and myself will be back with you to reflect on the game's key talking points. That reaction show will also be available to listen to as an official LFC podcast later on. The full match replay is available to watch from midnight, and don't forget to look out for the best behind-the-scenes footage from today's match when Inside Anfield drops on the club's official YouTube and Facebook pages at some point tomorrow. Right here, the scene is set. That man will take centre stage, no doubt. Can he celebrate his new contract with a few more goals? We'll find out soon. Liverpool West Ham is just around the corner. The build-up continues after these.
One time português. Conquistamos toda a Europa. Nós nunca vamos parar.